Mardi Gras is a culture in itself, but within that culture, there's a subculture called the Mardi Gras Indians. In New Orleans today, I think the highlight of it all is the fact that folks want to know, where are the Indians?
One of the greatest kept secret in America and throughout the world today is the Mardi Gras Indian.
All over town. Big jock came out then on a dirty ground. Well, now I don't know now, but I was told. But in wild, I know he got a lot of soul.
My name is Howard Miller. I'm known throughout the city as Chief Howard. I was born and raised here in New Orleans.
My name is Tyrone Casby. Professionally, I'm an educator in New Orleans public schools as an administrator.
My name is Victor Harris. I'm Chief Fayaya with the Mandingo Warrior Tribe.
Roderick Silvers. I'm Big Chief of the Wild Chapter Tulips Mardi Gras Indians.
Big Chief Kiki Gibson from the Lower 9th Ward. My occupation is a truck driver. I own my own trucking company.
My name is David Peters, Montana. I am the chief of the Washita Nation. Won't bow down, don't know how.
My name is Larry Bannock, and I'm Big Chief of the Golden Star Hunters. That's Gerttown, the 17th Ward.
I'm Big Chief Bo Dallas Jr. from the Wild Magnolias, age of 32. Carrying it from my dad's name as Big Chief Bo Dallas. That's some big shoes to fill.
My name is Thomas Landry. I'm a stock clerk for the last 48 years.
I'm Big Chief Romeo Bougere from the 9th Ward Hunters. I'm 29 years old. I'm born in New Orleans, Louisiana. Actually in this house right here.
My name is Waddy Griffin, West Bank Algiers.
I started Manson in 1962 when I was a little boy. It's been in my family for 4 generations.
My dream was as a kid, I want to be an Indian. And I became an Indian.
I'm a mighty big chief on a Mardi Gras day. Got a toothy mama like the big chief said. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
During carnival time, blacks couldn't participate in Mardi Gras like Rex and all that. So we came out from the back skirt of New Orleans and we called ourselves Mardi Gras Indians.
Because when years ago when they had slavery, the slaves would run away from the slave masters, and the Indians would take them in.
Back then, everything was secret, hush, hush. Nobody didn't talk about it as much. Mardi Gras Indian was a secret society.
I could see an Indian coming down the street, and this was my first time seeing a Mardi Gras Indian coming down the street. So I was all excited. I didn't know who it was. I just seen feathers, in the distance. And the closer it got, you could hear all the people behind him, chanting songs. And I remember my aunt that used to live next door to me. She said, well, that's your uncle. It's your Uncle Booker coming down the street. It looked like Jesus to me.
Back then, it was a little rougher. They would fight, all this,
My mother was like, no, indeed. Because of what was attached to the Mardi Gras Indian culture at that time. It was a culture of violence. And guys would meet up, and of course, you would have confrontation.
My mama and my aunt and them, they hated Mardi Gras Indian. To make my first Indian suit, I had to go and hide at somebody else's house and make my suit. But after my first year, they saw it was in my blood. They couldn't change it.
I was in school, and I just started learning how to bead. I shouldn't say this, but sitting in the back of the class, still doing my work, I'm learning how to bead. Played hooky, but we played hooky to go so,
My mother said, baby, you don't have no money for that. And I found me some cardboard, and I got my little crown, and I drew me some of the Indians, or whatever I drew, and I colored it. And I went out there amongst the Indians. And all the kids, I come out of the Calio Project then, all the kids were laughing at me, throwing rocks at me, because that wasn't a real costume. And my mother looked at me, she cried, said, baby, please go take that off. But I wasn't ashamed, because you know why? That was my artwork. Each neighborhood was represented by a tribe.
We start with the spy boy.
The spy boy, he's out leading the tribe, searching for other tribes.
As the spy boy going out there looking for other Indians and all, he's out there playing his part. Plus, he's giving the signal to his chief and his flag boy, too, to let him know that gang is coming. Gang coming this way, gang coming that way.
And it's going to go to the flag boy who represents the gang by carrying the flag of the tribe. And he's going to send a signal on back to the chief that what's going on up in front.
A hell of a queen.
You have the wild man who's making sure that all orders is carried out.
And when the chief get an order, he's going to say who he wants to meet first. He's going to meet them one by one.
The queen, she's a chief helper. She's a nurturer for the young ladies that's in the tribe, the young girls that's in the tribe. She's a helper for them, possibly one day to take over her position.
Mardi Gras Indians now today is one of the only organizations we don't have a route, we don't need a permit.
If I'm going south and I see some Indian coming from the east, well, that's the way I'm going now. I'm gonna turn and go east because the other tribes is out there and you want to see them and you would like for them to see us.
When you meet a person, the main thing is you don't touch nobody.
Anything happen on the street on Mardi Gras Day or any other day, when the police come, they're not questioning nobody. They're coming straight to the big chief. So I let them know, hey, look, put your suit on. You can play Indian, but respect the guy across from you. I teach anybody that takes time out and put that needle and thread down, they're beautiful.
And only the chief and the court, what I mean by the court is the scouts or queens or something. These are the only people supposed to be there at the end as the two chief when they'll meet. If I'm a spy boy, I'm supposed to be gone because this is chief talking. That's not no place for anybody other than the chief. They meet and they greet and they go on to the next one.
Big Chief Howard, that's one of my legends. My big chief was a legend. Lil Walter of Creole Wild West, that's one of my legends.
And the famous, most recognizable chief that ever lived, the great-great-granddaddy of all Indian chiefs, Cornelius Tillman. Chief Tillman was born in 1899, and every other chief in the city came under his leadership. And you probably heard of the chief of Chief Rabi. The reason why Rabi got that name, Chief of Chief, it wasn't a coincidence. Only way you can be Chief of Chiefs, you're gonna have to be voted upon by the majority of the New Orleans Mardi Gras Indian tribes in the city. Across the river, the West Bank, 9th Ward, 7th Ward, 6th Ward, uptown, back of town. He had the knowledge that every Indian chief in the city needed at that time to bring back to their tribe, where they could educate the tribe on how the game goes. And I will always love and respect Chief Tudor Montana, legendary Chief Tudor Montana.
We had terrible experience with police here in the beginning. They didn't understand our culture, so they kind of overstepped their boundaries. But thank God that we have people that came in and was with us, were willing to fight for our rights and how we should be accepted. We was protesting about the action of the police one St. Joseph night.
We called a press conference and we told them we demanded to meet with the mayor and the city council members at that time because it gonna have to stop.
All the chiefs was together and we went to the city council.
And I'm constantly calling Tudor Montana, Chief Tudor, legendary Chief Tudor Montana house. Every day, Chief, you come in, I don't think I'm going to be bothered with it. We all at City Hall, and we about to confront the city council, the mayor, and the police captain.
Take the Mardi Gras Indians out of New Orleans, and you do irreparable harm. Irreparable harm. I know there is on the New Orleans Police Department individuals who understand this tradition as I and some of the others here do.
And I said, well, let me go get some water to clear my throat. Walking the hallway, I seen Chief Tudor and Miss Joy walking down the hallway. And I said, what? I said, oh, Chief, He said, yeah, I made it. And I hugged him and embraced him and Miss Joyce, and I was so happy. You know, I said, I'm really happy because I didn't think for once he was coming.
Yeah, this is I am Big Chief Tootie, Allison, Montana. I made 52 suits, so I made 52 years. But I played it cool because when I told my mother that I wanted to make a suit that year, she said, "Oh no, boy, you don't want to fool with that because during my dad's time, they used to fight. It was dangerous. So all those years, I made sure that I didn't get involved in no kind of misunderstanding, including with the police."
He went to saying what happened in 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980. He got frustrated, I think, you know, that this still was going on. And before we knew it, Chief had collapsed between his son and the other chief that was around him. We were trying to get Chief to respond. He didn't.
He caught a massive heart attack and he died. That day, the spirit in that place will be one that never, ever be forgotten.
We had one of the chiefs in the crowd. He started off with Indian Raid.
Because we're the Indian, we're the Indians of the nation, the whole wide creation. We won't bow down. We won't bow down. Not on the ground. Not on the ground. Oh, how I love to hear the call by Indian Raid.
And everybody there, we forgot about the council meeting because Chief Tootie Montana, they just hit the floor fighting for what he believed in. He died like he lived.
A lot of people who know me, they don't see how I'm ass Indian. Because like I said, I'm quiet, you know. But when I put that suit on, look like something transformed me. I come out. I do things I wouldn't normally do, you know, hooping and hollering. I wouldn't go down the street doing that. I barely talk.
It's a transformation that's being done when you're sitting down sewing these suits. And Mardi Gras Day, if you have done your work, then you will be transformed to who you're supposed to be that day. It is so fulfilling when you do your work and look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I did it.
I sold all day, I sold all night. You gotta sow. I sold till the day of break of dawn. You gotta sow.
I don't know what to make. Let me just be clear with you guys. I don't. I starts off, then the spirit leads my needle to where it should be. Colors started coming in my mind. No, you don't want to use that color. You want to use this one. Try this one. Just look at it. And I believe with all my heart, my soul, and mind that I'm led by the Spirit.
Pick you on, tell them what I said. I sold that morning on that day. I sold that morning till the break of dawn.
As my uncle always said, he was a special person in doing walls and plaster work, master plaster, stuff like that. And he put that in his suits. That's why his suits were so beautiful. He told you in so many ways, learn your gift. I learned that I can use these hands in creating fine jewelry. So if I can create fine jewelry with precious metals, I ought to could create fine beadwork with all kind of beads. That's why some of the stuff, the hummingbirds and the little small intricate stuff, that most people would get fed up with and just throw it to the side. Even the people that helped me, I had to teach them the patience it takes to bead one bird.
This is one thing that they can't make a machine to make. You know what I'm saying? There's no machine that could sit down and bead and put down these beads like we can.
My work is different from all of the Mardi Gras Indians because I started doing African work. Like I said, well, I'm not an Indian. I said, well, I'm gonna use my culture as who I am, a black man. It comes from out of my mind and the thoughts of the ancestors of Africa. This is my culture. I mean, this is my ancestors, this is my elders and people like that, my forefathers. I respect that highly. It took 18 years before I learned how to say, well, I'm gonna start doing my own designing.
First suit that I made, instead of using beading thread, I used regular thread, cotton thread. And I brought it to the guy and I said, man, look what I did. Man, he's like, oh man, that's good. But then he took his finger and he ran his finger across the beads and it just popped one by one. And he said, now you got to go back and start all this over again.
Each year we make about 24 suits between me and my wife for the family. My daughter sews for her children, my son sews for him and his children.
You have to at least put in 3 to 4 hours a day if you're gonna mask that Mardi Gras.
Might sew up to 4 o'clock in the morning. Give me a couple hours of sleep, go back at it again.
Getting into fusses with your girlfriend, being behind on bills, 365 days of sticking your fingers, really bleeding, you know what I mean? Like really sticking your fingers, bleeding, wiping it on the canvas.
Every 1, every 2. Every 1, come up. Every 1, every 2. If I'm sawing, it's not coming out right, leave it alone for a minute. Get away from me.
My first head bowl was one of my mother's old necklace. You use what you had around you.
This material stuff is very, very, very expensive, and it's going up higher and higher all the time on us. So I'm gonna find more means and ways of creating more difference in doing things without spending that money. If I have to pick up some grass, if I have to pick up shells off the ground or whatever, some kind of way, I'm gonna make a suit of the natural earth one of these days.
You either have a vest or a jacket, your shirt under that, your collar. I'm getting old, so I'm trying to lighten it up. I don't make it as heavy. I try not to, but they still tell me I do it too heavy. I done had 2 hip operations.
Here, right here, it's me with my daughter in the canoe, in the river, down by the riverside. I lost my daughter 4 years ago. That she'd have been here, she'd been 20 years old. I'm gonna lay down my burden, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. You saw too, from your heart. Your heart means a lot.
You got your family to take care of, you got other things to take care of, and it's hard. And the only thing that saved me was I had friends. And these friends would look out for me. One would draw for me. The other one would help me with the suit. The other one would take pictures.
They come from all walks to help and put their input into the costume. And it's an honor because, behind each one of these suits, this is what I believe, that everyone that touches it is a plus to my energy when I put it on. So if I got 20 people helping me, that's how strong I feel. I feel the strength of 20 people.
And when it gets close to carnival, now you're nervous, you're trying to finish and all. And to me, I done worked all year on this suit. To me, it looks good, but I don't know. I know when I hit my door and I hear the people react.
Indian practice is like a big old practice of a war game. If another game comes in the door, they practicing with each other.
Where is my wife?
And sometimes it might get a little bit hostile, but that's just all part of the game. It's gonna teach you how to play the tambourine. It's gonna teach you how to play the drum. It's gonna teach you how to dance. If I didn't tell you what to do, you're gonna learn it in practice.
You got to have practice. You must have practice to be successful at anything. You got to have practice.
I started with the Wild Magnolias. I ran flag, did spy.
From 71 till 79, I worked my way. Into being a big chief.
I ran third flag, second flag boy, first flag. I ran third spy, second spy, and first spy. So I based like 25 years before I became a chief.
And so by you learning these stages, you're able to teach them. If you played it and you lived it, then you can teach it.
You know, I'm the only tribe on the west bank of the river. And that's basically because the community in that area respect, you know, the way I carry myself and the way my tribe carried itself. So they look up to us and say, oh, that's our tribe from that section of the city. And Tyrone's the big chief. Yeah. So your community has a lot to do with it.
It's great to be chosen. It's great for people to say, this is the guy who wants to bring us. This is the guy who wants to lead us. It's great for the community to say, that's our chief.
I don't even think about being the prettiest. All I think of is who I am, the spirit of the fire. We all is in one spirit. That's what I come out to be, one. Tell everybody, come back home. New Orleans is where you belong.
One Mardi Gras morning, very young age, I got a chance to see the Indians as they passed in my house. And I was very excited about it and wanted to know what was about it, what was going on with this. And what drew me to them more than the feathers and the marabou and the suit itself were the chants.
Bo Dallas was the chief of the Wild Magnolia Indian tribe. He had a voice, and Bo Dallas was bringing our music all over the world. So he was making the Indians more popular than any other chief in the city, and I will stand by that today. Bo Dallas took us around the world.
Mardi Gras Day was really, really hard, okay? My son came to me that night and was like, Ma, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. I said, well, we have to do it. Part of our tribe came and then we prayed and we got out there. We got to our meeting place, which is Second and Dry, Sportsman Corner. That's where we start and that's where we end. When we got there, it was so many people and everybody was coming, giving condolences and oh, Rita, we feel them, you know, and the skies even looked different. Just the feeling of the spirit, he was there.
Say, Daddy, I know this your day and I miss you too. Come on, Bo. Never seen my soul, but send them through.
All right,
Then a big chief, the wild man, know you sing. Everybody, let me hear you sing it loud. Self feeling good, I'm feeling fine.
My son, I didn't realize he was holding so much.
It was like kind of a shock, but at the same time, I had to deal with keeping the name going because I didn't want the Dollars name to ever fade away. So I took what I learned from him and I ran with it.
He said, "Hana wanda make hana day." Hana wanda your mama. That's all to my gang on the telephone. Hana wanda your mama. Got a whole gang coming, I'm leaving home. Hana wanda your mama. So that morning like a sewing machine. Hana wanda your mama. They do what you want to do, what you know. Hana wanda your mama.
Happy birthday, I got myself a Indian gang. I'm the big chief from the nation.
I would love for my sons to take and represent me, who I was and who they are. Young Cherokee, honor, glory.
And the prettiest thing in the world is to see one of them little children take an inner tube or a cardboard box and put on their head like they have a feather crown, playing Indian.
And what I explain to them, if you go to school, get your grades right, you can mask. If you don't get your grades right or whatnot, you can't mask.
We want people that are not afraid, people that are artistically talented. If not, you can learn because each one teach one.
And we know, and we strongly believe that if we teach these kids while they're young and get them involved with it, this can go on for another 100 or 200 years.
It wasn't an uptown thing. It wasn't a downtown thing. It wasn't an Algiers thing. It was an Indian thing. That Indians can get together and voice their own opinion and decide their future, they self. They didn't need nobody else but the chiefs to find out where we've been and where we want to go.
There's a secret about masking Indians that very few Indians know, and it's so simple. You got to love it. You got to do it from your heart. You got to push that needle when nobody else can understand why you're pushing that needle.
When I say something, I want you to say, nah, nee, all right? Early in the morning, nah, nee, it's early in the morning, nee, say, yeah, come, the Indians, nah, nee, the streaming and the hollering, nee, it's the second line falling, nah, nee, the tambourines are ringing, nee, say, everybody singing, nah, nee, say, take me down, nah, nee, say, we're downtown, nah, nee, say, take me down, nah, nee, I won't turn around, nee, say, Lord, I'm a warrior, nah, nee, say, Indiana warrior, nee, say, Bum Bum a ruler, nah, nee, say, Big Chief a ruler, nee.